All right, we are live, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Okay, we got a lot to share with you today. Now, as you could see from the reason from the title of this whole thing, it's basically a profound coming across, a profound awakening when you go ahead and you realize that there's a formula to communicating with people on a higher level. That there's actually a distinct way that successful people go about their business to get potential customers, clients, and people on their team to do things that are not only in the best interest of the business, but in the best interest of themselves. That's what we call a win-win situation. And a lot of people who begin in their stages of being in business for themselves, they have a very hard time communicating with other people. I know that I'm going to share with you a few stories throughout today that are going to illustrate that point about how out of tune and out of touch I was with communication and with other people for so long that actually led me to a point of breaking down and just kind of almost giving up. And I'm sure a lot of people out here or a lot of people that are watching this right now that are here can feel or relate to that same thing, where we've all had that moment in our life that just said, you know what, why are people treating me like this? Why am I treating people like this? Why are people not listening? Okay, why aren't people doing what I'm asking? These are all questions that I'm sure that we've all asked each other. And for a long time, I didn't know the answers. And I kept working harder and harder and harder and trying to grind. And I would always plateau. I kept just plateauing to get to, I was like, man, I feel like I could get up here and I would just stay right here. And the reason of that is because my communication skills, they sucked. They were no good. I didn't have any idea how to be in touch with other people. And so today, I want to say thank you for being here. And we're going to give you the formula to higher communication, okay, and how to apply it successfully and what to do after you have all that information. Okay, so, and for those of you who hang out with us until the end of this, you're going to get an opportunity to work with us directly. And I hope that you find value in that opportunity throughout this whole hangout today. So first, before I get into the meat and potatoes of the day, I wanted to share a little bit about me. Typically, I'm going to have my beautiful fiance sitting right next to me, but today, she is handling business and she is just out of the office. So I'm here in front of you because I couldn't wait to get this in front of you. And the way that I want to share this with you is hopefully going to get you to get motivated, encouraged, and ready to take some action. Because when I came across this information, it got me to do that exact same thing. And it's changed the way that I've been able to communicate with people, which has helped our business. So by me sharing this with you, that's my intention, for you guys to make more money from this information, for you to bring more people into your business and affect more people and impact more lives with having this information, not only in your business, but in your personal lives as well. Now that hopefully is a big statement. Hopefully I can go ahead and deliver on that. But before I get into that, a little bit about me. I'm 29 years old. I live in Las Vegas, and I've been an internet marketer or online marketer for in the home business profession for almost 2 years now, for about 18 months. And it's been awesome. Before this, I had zero experience online, had no idea what it took to build an online business, but I always had that vision that I would be able to make money on my own, as my own efforts and do my own thing. So having that as a vision, I started out very early. I moved out of my house when I was 16 years old and was forced into finding a job and forced into kind of a creative way of getting an income. Okay. And so I did a few things for about a decade, mostly with the restaurant serving industry. Okay. Did a little bit of construction, did a little bit of things, like dabbled here and there, but typically it was, I just wanted to stay involved with the restaurant industry. I love the way that I love the daily money. I love the relationships that were built. I loved the fact that they gave you opportunity from within, but then on the downside of that, you didn't have any control over your future. You had zero way to tell who was going to be in line for the next opportunity to get that, maybe the GM job or the corporate training job or, whatever it may be. And so I felt like that was kind of shysty. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be able to know that I can make more money if I did a better job. If I was more valuable to my restaurant job, then why couldn't I get paid more? You know what I mean? It wasn't going to work like that in that industry. And so I decided that I was going to go ahead and get licensed as a realtor. So that's what I did at 20 years old. After being in the restaurant industry for about 4 years, I decided that I needed a change. So I got involved in the restaurant industry, and that's when my entrepreneurial journey began, really. That's when my whole, just everything shifted. I thought to myself, okay, if my grandmother, who's been selling real estate for about 25 years, can make a ton of money doing this, I can do this as well. Okay, so I got licensed. I went to work for another company and started just doing what I needed to do. In the first year, I had great success, but then after that, it kind of fell off. And the reason for that being was because I didn't even know what I was doing. The first little bit of successes are always going to be from your close family, your friends, your warm market, because even in real estate, when I got started, they teach you to actually go and make a list, just like how they do in network marketing and a bunch of other places that we do not teach. Because actually, when you join us, we encourage you not to pick up the phone and not to do the three-way calls and not to do the home meetings and things like that. But yeah, so it's led us to a point to where now we're able to work from home, because you figure, okay, so where would I leave off at? When I was 20, and then by the time I was 25, I met Sarah. Okay, and she's the one that you always see next to me right here. Well, we decided after some things, some bad things in the restaurant industry again, because mind you, I was licensed at 20, had a great first year, fell off after that. And I still kept my license because it's very hard to get, but I didn't do anything with it. And like I said, it was a lot of, just instant success that I saw that I didn't continue my education. There was a lot of lack of leadership because I wasn't really ensuing my further education. So it just crippled my whole business and it depleted it, and it was no longer existing. So I had to go and get a restaurant job. I had to go back to where my roots were, which was serving. And in doing so, I ended up finding Sarah. And when I found Sarah, I fell in love immediately. And well, I should say I fell in love with her. Oh, she was just beautiful. I fell in love with her immediately. And then she was playing a little bit hard to get. So I had to do a little bit of digging and she had to do a little bit of chasing. And it was a fun beginning for us. But in that beginning, we both quit that job that we met each other at. Within, I'd say, 3 weeks of us being together, we both had quit. And I was living at home with my mom at that time. That's a very tough situation to be at when you're 25 years old. You moved out when you were 16. A decade later, you find yourself back at home. And now you actually have a female that you love and you want to take care of, and you're living at home with your mom. So I invite her in and I'm like, you know what, if you want to live here, let's do this. But, I live at home with my mom. So she moves in with me because she was from Texas and was kind of in between spots here and was actually in the middle of moving back to Texas. So because of me being in that spot that I was in, she stayed here to want to help me and take care of me. Now, that's a beautiful woman to be with. And I'm just happy to share that with you. But we ended up taking our business to the next level because when she saw me, working for just day in and day out, and same way she was with the restaurant industry, we knew there had to be a better way. She always had a vision to be a stay-at-home mother, and I always had a vision to provide that, whatever dream it was for the woman I was going to be with, to provide whatever it is that they wanted. Okay, so that's always been my vision. So I decided that, okay, well, what am I going to have to do to get her to be a stay-at-home mother full-time, to where we can comfortably move forward with our family and finances and all the goods? And I decided that I had picked up a hobby of playing poker. Now, being out here in Las Vegas, it's very easy to pick up in that poker habit. And so I really took off with it. I did really well in the first few years. And then she got pregnant and my game kind of went down the toilet. I started having a lot more, my priorities got rearranged. And I started really thinking about where I wanted to be when I was 30, 40, 50 years old. And my final answer wasn't at the poker table. Even though I love poker and I will always play poker, the losses that I put my family through, it's just way too difficult right now. And it's not really worth it when you put them through that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And so unless you have a way to substantiate that income, to sustain that income, to replenish your account, unless you have a way to do that, you're not doing your family justice. At least I don't believe. And so I had to find a way. And so that is the way that to build kind of a residual income using tools and resources that are going to allow you to expand your business without you actually being in it. And that's what I found to be our escape. That's what our way out was that, you know what? I love business. I could work with my fiance. We could work from home. We could be the main influence in our daughter's life, and we can make an impact in the world. That is the reason why we decided to take action and decided to run with this vision of ours to help just become free, to help ourselves be free from that society-driven 9-to-5 way to live life, that, oh, ho-hum, I got to live every day for what it is because I don't have anything in my future to kind of way of living. That's not what we saw for each other. And we knew that there was actually a way to make money online. Let's just be honest. It's 2015. And a lot of people who are skeptical, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Because you see people living it. You see people doing it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what took us to actually take action. A buddy of mine was pounding this idea into me that they've been making money. Now, I saw his results for 7 months before I decided to take action, and build a business online myself. If I wouldn't have decided to do that, I wouldn't be right here in front of you sharing this valuable information. Okay. And so that's a little bit about me and why I'm here right now in front of you. Okay. And so let's get into the main content for the day. The main content, we're looking at the formula. Why are you guys here? You're here to reach the formula of higher communication. Okay. And how is it that you can use that higher communication to produce more sales, which means more money in your business? Okay. And the formula, grab a pen and pencil, because for the rest of this hangout, I expect you, and I really want you to take some notes. This is going to be, I encourage you to take some notes. This is going to be huge, monumental for your business. The formula is empathy plus sincerity equals persuasion. Okay, a lot of people use that whole fear-mongering kind of thing to get people to do what they want. It's I'm going to beat you into submission, and if you don't like what I'm telling you, you could leave, right? That's typically how a lot of people act. I'm going to agree. That's how I was kind of brought up, was just fear them into doing what you do. It's fear. Fear is better than love, because love is going to leave you weak. Fear is going to keep them basically doing what you want them to do because they are in fear. And that kind of stuff hasn't worked. It's like a torture tactic is what me and Sarah were learning. It's not something that is going to get people to do what you want them to do. And it's never in their best interest. So that's why I wasn't seeing the results in my business, was because I was using a torture tactic to try and get people to buy my products. That, my friend, is a very bad idea. So when you use the formula, empathy plus sincerity, you're going to get persuasion. And applying the formula for higher communication will result in three things. Okay, number one, it's going to show your team and customers and prospects that you care. It's going to show them that you actually have a heart and that you're here for the right reasons. Number two, it's going to show, the people that you do, you will bring more people into your business. Okay. So it's just a matter of fact. You're going to bring more people into your business. And those people number three, the people that you do bring into into the business, they're going to be more eager to follow what you say and remain loyal to your vision, because they're going to understand and they're going to believe that you are here because, one, you can relate to them, and two, you've been there before because you can relate to them, and you're coming from a place of sincerity. You know yourself and you know where you're going. That's where your vision comes in. So it's crucial to take this formula and use it in every sense of communication. And that's why the next part's going to explain to you why or how to apply the formula. Okay. So researchers have noted that the two most powerful qualities in human behavior that are known to improve communication are empathy and sincerity. Okay. Now, therefore, winning people over to a certain point of view, that's what you want. Okay. You want to win people over from wherever they're at to your point of view. And empathy and sincerity are the best way to do that. And winning people over is a good thing. You're not sitting here telling people that lies to win them over. You're not fabricating stories to get people to believe in your vision. That's not what we're telling you to do. That kind of behavior won't make a business last. Okay, you're not going to be able to last on those kind of ethics. But if you come from a point that is really sincere and empathetic, then you understand that winning people over is a good thing, because your product has good value and your service is going to do great things. So a lot of folks, they just might not see the value. And by you winning them over, now they see the value. And now they see that, okay, well, by me being a part of this vision, my life will become better. I'll either make more money, I'll be a better person, I'll be able to give back more. Whatever it is that is driving you and your ultimate force, that's kind of what you want to, that is what you want to win people over to. And so by building a business online, you're going to have to use these persuasion tactics, because people don't know or understand what you do. When I try to explain what I do, it blows people's minds, because I could say anything and it's all true. You know what I mean? And that might blow your mind watching this. You're like, that doesn't make any sense. And the whole thing about being ambiguous enough is to create that curiosity, to get people to commit to knowing more. Okay. And so you don't want to give away the whole kit and caboodle in one thing. You want to kind of resist temptation to go ahead and say exactly what you do. And so by winning people over from a sincere point of view, you don't even have to say what you do. You don't have to mention your company. You don't have to mention your job title. You don't have to name drop. You don't have to do any of that, because none of that matters. You're there for them, and you're there to listen to them, and you're there to help them. You know what I mean? So your vision is there because of that, for that reason and purpose. You see what I'm saying? So you don't want to believe that winning people over is a bad thing. You want to train your mind that winning people over is a good thing. And there's a tactic to it. And once you gather and you apply this tactic successfully, you will see an increase in your business. Here, let me share this with you real quick. I found this in the book. What book is it? Persuasion, The Art of Persuasion. Okay, so if you want any more of these details, you can go and look into The Art of Persuasion, because it's where I got a lot of this content from. And so a man's ability, listen to this, a man's ability, and woman, man, but man's ability to communicate is a result of his failure to listen effectively, skillfully, and with understanding to another person. Okay, now, let me just be honest with you right now. That is exactly what I was speaking of in the beginning of this hangout. I've dealt with a lot of people who have shown me that I am not communicating properly. And I took that very personal. And I took that as, you know what, they're not listening to me because they don't respect me, or they don't care, or, you know, they're not into whatever it is, when that's not really the case. They're not listening because you're not listening. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to believe. It's hard for a lot of people to choke on, but it's true. It's true. When you end up listening more to other people, it allows you to broadcast at a stronger signal. So mind you that when you're just here right now as a person, you're a receiver and a broadcaster of stations. Okay, and when people receive, okay, when people receive that from you, they're not going to be able to get that whole message from you. They don't understand it. You see what I'm saying? So there's the big struggle for me was being able to get through that communication problem and being able to understand that it was my focus. It was my lack of understanding that person, where they came from, their core motivation. It was that lack of awareness that kept me from communicating well with others. And in doing so and having that result, we weren't getting any money in our business. I was actually butting heads with a lot of people because I felt like what we were doing was right, when the actions we were taking were correct, but we were coming from I was coming from a very bad mental state. Okay, so if you don't have all this together, which I'll get into in a minute, none of this is going to work. Okay, so you're going to need to have these there's two persuasion. How to apply this formula? Okay, so we have the formula, which is empathy plus sincerity equals persuasion. Now, let me show you how to apply this formula. Persuasion has two types of intelligences. Okay, it takes two types of intelligences to use. And the first one is intrapersonal intelligence. Now, my fault. The first one is interpersonal, I-N-T-E-R, because they're only off by 2 words. That's why I'm saying it like this. Interpersonal, I-N-T-E-R, interpersonal intelligence. That is an understanding of other people, okay? How they feel, their motivations, things like that. And then the second, okay, is intrapersonal intelligence. Okay, so you have interpersonal and intrapersonal. Interpersonal is other people. Intrapersonal is you. Okay, is me. You know what I mean? It's the person it's that person. Okay, so that is also an understanding of yourself. Okay, and that's where the sincerity comes in. So if you look at interpersonal intelligence is an understanding of other people. That's where the empathy comes in. Number 2, the intrapersonal intelligence, an understanding of yourself, is a sincerity. That is insight into your own thought process, feelings, and emotions. Okay. Now, a lot of people, that's where we kind of separate, because we love to hone in on other people, but we don't like to ask ourselves the correct questions that are going to get us to know the answer to this. And if you don't know the answer to this, if you don't know, your own thought process, if you don't know your own feelings and your own emotions, if you can't distinguish those in the time that, and relay them and express them, it's going to be very difficult for you to really get in tune with other people. A lot of us don't want to deal with our baggage. They want to deal with, with your own baggage. You want to kind of focus on other people's things. But the moment that you take time to yourself and you focus on what motivates you, what your feelings are and things like that, that's going to get you to understand more about them and get you to realize that, okay, look, I can understand them more because I can understand me more. And that actually makes sense. And so, like I said, if you want more about this topic, grab the book Persuasion, The Art of Influencing People. Okay, Persuasion, The Art of Influencing People. That's going to help you gather more details about what it takes to communicate on a higher level. Okay, and applying this formula. Okay, so this is the good part right here. Okay, so applying the formula will allow you to tap into the minds of other people and communicate effectively with them. But is that enough? Is it enough to just know how to apply this? Is it enough to just apply it? I don't think so. I think there's one more thing that we're missing. And the thing that is missing is knowing the formula is just not enough. It's not enough. You want to know how to make it work, and you want to know what to do with it. So in order to make the formula work, your attitude has to be right. And we were talking about this, just earlier in the hangout, and your mental attitude, that's where it starts. Your mental attitude, that has to be right. Because communication is transmitted by attitude along with the methods that we mentioned in today's hangout. So it's crucial for this formula to work that you have a positive mental attitude. And there's so many places that you can go and get, or there's so many resources that you could use to increase your positive mental attitude. And knowing that every person has one coin basically that they get to decide every decision that they make on. Okay, and that coin has two sides. It's from a negative mentality and a positive mentality. And I don't encourage you to flip the coin. I encourage you to constantly be running on the positive mentality side, because when you make decisions in a positive mentality, you're going to be able to work at a higher level. You're going to be able to communicate at a higher level, and people will listen at a higher level. You'll be able to effectively communicate, because a lot of people think that talking is communicating, and that is absolutely incorrect. Talking is just talking. Whether or not it's communication is the whole response and application of what was said. Okay, so you could be talking to somebody, and then if they don't respond or apply what is being taught, there's no communication. There's no communication. You're just talking. And I still have a problem with this because I'm a talker. I just love talking. And I know that people who are maybe a little more inverted, it goes both ways, okay? Because like if you are outgoing, then you seem to get your foot caught in your mouth a little bit. But if you're introverted, then people kind of look at you like you may be depressed, or not like snobby or angry or upset, or whatever. So there's two sides of the coin, and you just have to be you. Okay, you just have to be you. But understanding that communication is transmitted by attitude, along with other principles and strategies. Okay, but it starts with your attitude. So with a good attitude, empathy and sincerity will make you become a better communicator, which will result in more sales for your business. Okay. Now, more importantly, you'll be coming from a genuine place that will lead to a more fulfilling life, and that won't matter how many sales you've made, because you'll feel like you have done your job. You'll feel like, okay, well, I'm here because I can give my message to people. And now with these skills that I'm teaching you today, you're going to be able to learn how to get that message that you have, your vision, to get people to fall in line with that. Because I believe that if you have a vision that is big enough for you to take action on, that it's big enough for the world to hear. And some people, a lot of people, the majority of folks who first get into business for themselves, they forget why. And they start talking at people and trying to get people, well, what can I do to get the most money? Or who can I talk to that's going to introduce me to the right person? And that's coming from a negative mindset, a very selfish mindset. And if you open up yourself and you say, empathy, sincerity, I'm going to get my persuasion. People will fall in line because of the fact that I can show them that I care. I can show them that I'm honest with my results and where I'm at. And I can show them that I'm honest and forthcoming and transparent with where my future is going and where we're going as a team. You know what I mean? Like that is huge for us. It's huge for people in business for themselves to use this formula instead of the old torture tactics that, we've been taught for so long. And in closing, I think, we're looking right on good time today, guys. You guys have got to be impressed with us, right? We were going for a while. We were going like 45 minutes to an hour on these, right? So I know you guys are happy about that. So in closing, I want to say thank you for hanging out with me today. I had a blast, and there's a lot that you could take away from this. So like we said, you got the formula for persuasion. You know how to apply it, and you know now what to do with it once you know how to apply it. Okay, so all these things got taught to you today. And if you apply them, you will see an increase in your business. That's going to be a magnificent thing to hear from you back, because I know that you're going to share your results with us once you implement these strategies. And so, like I promised you, okay, here is, let me see if I can, here is, there you guys go. Okay, there it is. You guys, as I promised, here's the opportunity to, here's the opportunity to work with us directly. Okay, it should have just popped up over there, and that's going to be your opportunity right now, so that we can help you start working together to help you start moving fast and earning fast and start the ground running. Hit the ground running. Start with some momentum. It's going to be amazing when you go ahead and you take action. If you saw value in today, I hope you do. Most successes are only successful because of the little things they've learned to implement. They didn't always have the knowledge. Okay, and that's why it's always better to have a team. We have noticed that when you have people around you that are stronger than you in certain areas, that your business and your strengths become stronger. So you actually become more valuable when you surround yourself with people who are strong where you are weak. That actually creates a fullness about you and your business. And now you don't have to run around and do things that are just taking up time and not really producing results. You can actually give those tasks off to other people or create jobs for other people that will allow you to free up your time and give more of yourself to your team, your customers, and your prospects. Okay, that's one reason why it's very beneficial to join a team, and that's why we're offering our services for you today. We have been struggling before. We know what it takes to, we know what it means, or what it takes to go from $50 a day, which is what we were making combined working in the restaurant industry, to now working from home full time while raising our daughter and being the main influence. So we understand that it takes a lot of struggle, or it takes a lot of confidence in yourself, and it takes a lot of action. Okay, you've got to be willing to do what it takes. Things aren't going to change unless you change. We noticed that, and we did whatever it took. That's why we know that you could do it too. Anybody that's here's watching this right now, we know that you want something better for yourself, and we know that you have what it takes to get that something better. So this is your opportunity right now. And also remember that if you're coachable and you're willing to do whatever it takes, those are the folks that we want to push this button, because we love working with action takers, and we know that we can make an impact if you do and are willing to do whatever it takes. Okay, so while you are pulling out your credit card, we want to share with you this last bit. Okay, and I just want to share this while you're making this powerful decision. Okay, persuasion, and for a lot of people, this happens for a lot of people. Persuasion has nasty undertones that make certain people cringe when they hear the word. In today's hangout, when we speak of persuasion, we speak of gentle persuasion, subtle techniques that work on the mind to produce desirable results for both parties. That's where we come from, and that's where we want you to kind of just realize that that's where we're coming from. Okay, when you hear the word persuasion, it's a gentle persuasion. We want to produce a desired result for both parties, moving people from point A to point B. Okay, and today's hangout is about you learning to communicate in a way that will result in favorable outcomes for your business and personal relationships. And now here goes the good part. For those of you who have made the decision to join us today, okay, we're going to be contacting you once you've purchased and schedule a 15 to 30-minute phone call, coaching call, where you'll be able to get your first 90-day game plan. I'm talking in detail to set you up specifically for the desired amount of success that you are looking for. Okay, we're providing this for only action takers because, like I said, we love working with people who take action. Okay, so again, I hope you found value in today's video. For those of you who had taken action, we'll see you in a second. For those of you who didn't, come back tomorrow. Okay, come back tomorrow. We have another hangout, and we just love providing you guys with awesome value. Okay, we hope that you kick butt today, make a sale, provide somebody with some awesome value, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, guys.